Welcome to the Bowels of Retribution. If you like death metal and you like thrash metal, then these three releases I'm going to show you from 2025 you need to hear. Hello everybody. So as I said in my intro, I've got three new releases, well 2025 releases anyway. 3 death metal and 1 progressive thrash metal release. Let's get straight on with it, shall we? The first band, and this is their 7th full-length release, put out on Testimony Records. And the first time I've heard of this band for some strange reason, but it is the German death metalers New World Depression. This release, Abysmal Void. You always like it when it says on the in the spine there, old school death metal, and that's exactly what this is. This is old school, pummeling, meaty, chugging death metal, very much in the style of, I suppose, you know, Obituary, Bolt Thrower, that kind of death metal that I always say is good for people who are getting into death metal, you know, like a newbie's style. Very melodic, very catchy, tons of memorable riffs. What I quite like about this release, and I've not heard the previous releases, but they've got kind of like a UK death metal, when I spoke about Bolt Throwing, mixed with a bit of a Gothenburg style with that nice, tight, precise, sort of melodic style of death metal. Vocally, a really dry growl that's very prominent. The production on this is absolutely brilliant. Great lead guitar work, great sort of lead. I know I sort of speak about lead guitar work, I don't mean just the solos, I just mean that sort of lead layer over the riffs. There's the guys in the band. But if you like your old school meat and potatoes death metal, as we say, and I know when I say meat and potatoes, it doesn't mean like derogatory. It's, I suppose, a bit like I say filthy, dirty and horrible death metal. It's in no way derogatory. It's telling you exactly what you get. It's just meaty, makes you pull the riff face, tons of chugging, tons of great riffing. But yeah, really strong release. And and a bit of Juan Castellano artwork to boot as well. So if you like your old school, I won't say mainstream death metal, but that death metal that's not going to scare a new fan of death metal away, then please check them out. New World Depression, very apt band name for the times we're living in as well, isn't it? The next band, this is a band from Pennsylvania in the US. This is their debut full length, put out on 20 Buck Spin Records. And it is the band Ritual Mass, with the darkest artwork you're ever going to see. You can barely see that. This release, Cascading Misery. And I think this is a perfect album title for this record. That's exactly what it does. It's really dark and foreboding and chaotic and claustrophobic death metal, the complete opposite of New World Depression. And this is the kind of death metal that, if you're new to the scene and you hear this, it's not for the faint-hearted. This is really foreboding, miserable, evil sounding death metal. And what I like about it is, like I say with the album title, it sums it up perfectly, because it kind of Starts off with this synth intro. It's not upbeat by any means, but it kind of, you're not quite sure what you're going to get. And then it plunges into chaos and claustrophobia and you know, visceral sounding guitars, vocals that are just so deep in the mix. The drumming is fantastic, but everything's got this real sort of dark feeling to it, and that's how the album flows. It flows from chaos and then these little moments of clarity, shall we say, and as it gets to the last song, it's got this passage at the end, the last track, where it just brings it all down to this really doomy and evil sounding, quiet, sort of mellow passage, I suppose, and builds up again, and even when it ends, I hope I'm doing a decent job of explaining it, because you really need to listen to it. It really does. It leaves you not knowing throughout the entire record. You're not quite knowing what's going to come next. They've got a real clever way of kind of leaving you on that precipice and not sure where it's going to go. And that's how it kind of goes from start. And when it ends, it's the same. It's like it ends and you're like, I need to hear that again. It's absolutely brilliant release. It was very close to my top 10 death metal albums of 2025, to be honest, but it just missed out. I did have it playing in the background on that video, but please go and check it out. I don't really suppose it's much point in me trying to show you the artwork and that, because like I say, it's really dark, and it's a shame. I don't know why they do it so dark, because it's quite a nice piece of artwork. And even if I take this out and try and show it you, I don't think it's still going to show up very well. It is that dark. But yeah, please go and check Ritual Mass out from the US. Chaotic, claustrophobic, uneasy death metal of the highest order. Fabulous release. And last but not least, a bit of progressive thrash metal from Poland. The Poles know how to play progressive thrash metal really well, don't they? This band, this is their second full-length release, again put out on 20 Buck Spin, and it is the album Changelings by Species. Fantastic, like I say, progressive thrash metal, very much in the vein of Death Row, Watchtower, even Coroner and sort of Voivod in some respects, but it's also got that modern feel. The lead guitar work is fantastic. As much as it's changing all the time and the tempos and the rhythms are changing, there's a ton of memorable moments in this, and quite sort of I won't say uplifting, because I don't think that's the right word when you're talking about thrash metal, but it gives off a sort of a bit of a positive sort of feeling. I don't even know if that's the right word, but maybe uplifting is, I don't know. I mean, looking at the guys there, the look on them, that uplifts you, done it. That's them guys, they are who they are, and they don't give a shit. They're getting on with it. But yeah, everything about this musicianship, the bass playing, you know, nothing's ever following each other. They're tight together in their arrangements and their rhythms and melodies, but each of them is a fantastic musician. Vocally, there's a bit of clean vocals in there from time to time. You know, these guys know when to drop it down and not be as technical as they are on the parts. You know, they give you that time to breathe. Vocally, yeah, he's very good. It reminds me very much of, besides the sort of clean moments, very much of Tompa from out the gates. He's got that sort of anguished, tortured, howling sort of growl. It's really good, you know, it's really, really good. The guitars aren't too dirty. It is progressive thrash metal at the end of the day, so I suppose that the guitars need to be of a certain style for all those notes and rhythms to come through. But a fantastic release, and I have seen this record on a few people's end of year lists, and rightly so, because it is really, really good. I maybe need to go and check out their first album. But yeah, if you don't know this, please check it out. Species and their release Changelings, put out on 20 Buckspin Records. I must give a little shout out to Jan and Wolf over at sureshotworx for giving me the chance to talk about these CDs on my channel. The work you guys do for the promotion of death metal and thrash metal and metal itself doesn't go unnoticed, so thank you very much, Jan and Wolf. sureshotworx, top fellas. In the background we are listening to a bit of German filthy, dirty and horrible death metal in the shape of Cryptic Brood. Their release Necrotic Flesh Bacteria from 2024, put out on War Anthem Records. If you've never heard these guys, if you like Autopsy and that really filthy, dirty, loose style of death metal, you will love these guys. They've got a bit more technicality, hopefully you can hear it in the background, than Autopsy, but they've just got that feel about them. No, they don't sound like them, but I mean that like a copycat style. They don't sound exactly like them. They've got their own brilliant way of playing things, but it's like there's no rule book with them. They're going to play what they want to play, how they want to play it, feel. If you've been able to hear in the background anyway, underneath my yammering. That's what's playing in the background. Cryptic Brood. Please do check out all those releases. Ritual Mass from America, New World Depression from Germany, and Species from Poland. I will be back again with another video very soon. Thank you as always for taking the time out of your day to watch. And until then, bye for now.